Hi guys, it's Brayton, and I want to share why being smart and hardworking is actually not enough to get what you want out of life. Because you're smart, you're hardworking, but let's be honest. Have you ever lost a deal to a weaker competitor? Or have you ever been passed up for a promotion by someone on your team who, if in your opinion, just doesn't have the talent that you do? Or maybe coming from the business owner standpoint of view, have you ever hired someone or promoted someone that wasn't the sharpest, wasn't the most hardworking? So stay with me here in the short video. Let's go through why society seems to reward mediocrity when in fact it doesn't. It's just something else that's going on. Okay, and in 2021, I was working for a sales agency where it was super competitive, right? The challenge was everyone within the agency was trying to be placed on the top accounts because if you're on the top accounts, you make the most money, right? And so our company was hired by different businesses to do the sales for them. We were essentially like the sales team, get brought in, do the sales for them, make a bunch of sales, get paid, and they didn't have to train or manage anything like that. And the problem was everyone, there was 60, 70, maybe at the top, maybe close to 80 guys and gals as sales reps in this sales company. Everyone wanted to be on the top accounts. So that was problem number one. But problem number two was just because you're on the top account doesn't mean you're one of the 2, 3, or 4 closers as we were labeled. That, the sales guys actually closing the deals. There was other sales tiers where someone might have been a triager, where they were doing a ton of outbound calls just to book the meetings so that then the closers could to take those deals and cash them in. But you didn't make nearly as much money as a triager or a setter or someone, an outbound sales rep, an SDR, as they say in other industries. The money was all in the closing. And so different reps would try different ways to get management to get them to be on the top accounts. And then when they're on the top accounts, they try to get to be a closer. And I remember very distinctly, I'll always remember there's 2 guys, Pete and Bobby. And on a team-wide meeting, there's 60 people on the Zoom call, everyone's meeting, and they're asking, how can I be on this top account or one of these 2 top accounts? How can I be a closer on one of these top accounts? And I just remember thinking, no, why would you ask that? Like, especially as a salesperson, you have to be strategic about how you present yourself. And the reason why the closers, myself and other people were actually on these top accounts and closing was because we weren't asking those types of questions. And management could see that these people think about the right types of questions. Those are the people that we want. I mean, first of all, if you're going to ask a question like that because you're not clear on what the criteria is, you do it in private. You don't do it, publicly to kind of bring attention to a weakness of yours. Not that having weaknesses is a bad thing. We all have weaknesses, but doing it very publicly is just not tactful. And that shows management, okay, you're not really thinking strategically about how to present things. But number 2, if you are going to do it publicly, I mean, what I would have done is just call it out and said, this might not be the right medium, so we can take this offline if you think it's best, but it might help other people here because I'm having a little bit of confusion, and I would imagine some other people might be having confusion too. Framing it like that is a very strategic, mature, thoughtful way of presenting something. And it kind of takes away the objection, the idea like, oh, you shouldn't bring this up. You're like, I know this might not be the best place, so we could do it somewhere else. And then go into, I had this theory that doing A, B, and C is what management wanted to see to be on this account or this account. And, to the best of my knowledge, I've achieved those things. So I was just wondering if there's other criteria management factors in for it to be placed on those accounts. Again, that is very level-headed, very hard for anyone on the call to think badly about someone who's looking for clarity on a situation. I mean, that someone presenting something like that looks like a leader. That looks like someone we want on those top accounts. But just coming in, Pete and Bobby said, how do I get this? It sounds very childish, like, a little bit like a kid throwing a tantrum kind of in front of everybody, in front of mommy at the grocery store. Like, I want the cookies, I want the snacks. Yeah, I can't have it. Da, da, da. It's a little bit too quick and emotional, and it doesn't show enough tact. And really, that's what happens a lot in life, is people who are smart, people who are hardworking, like these guys, Pete and Bobby, very capable, but they didn't present themselves in a way that other people respected and thought that they would demonstrate the company and represent the company as a higher value. And so because of that, they weren't trusted with those bigger opportunities, those kind of higher pressure situations. And so many times in life, whether you're winning a business deal or trying to get investment for your startup or asking someone out on a date, it's not necessarily the person that has the best virtues. It can be the person that demonstrates and presents themselves as having good or great virtues. And a lot of people hate this. People hate that it can't all be about the product. That, if I have the best product, then people will know about it because that's what matters. It's the best product. And it's true. Having a great product, being a great person of character, having great skills, being highly capable, those are all good things, but it's not enough by itself. If you build it, they will not just come. People need to know about it. People need to not just know about it, but understand why it's valuable to them in their own selfish interest. I mean, at the end of the day, the world is loud, the world is competitive, and we're all trying to filter out what's in it for me. That's what everything in life boils down to, especially in the business world. What's in it for me? But even in relationships at home, each person is looking to get certain values of theirs met and accomplished. And if you're not the person that can help them get that, then they're not going to be the person that helps you get what you want. And so as you're presenting yourself in the boardroom, in business meetings, getting deals, just remember it's not necessarily being the smartest, being the most hardworking. Those are important things. Those are almost givens. But there's a third element. How do you present yourself? And if you don't present yourself in a way that people respect, people trust, people feel like you're a leader that they want to get behind and can trust you to represent them, then you're going to lose out on those deals. You're going to lose out on building bigger relationships or having relationships with a lot more people, higher impact people, high performance people.